Y'all come on in. Hello. Whoa. Hang on. Hola. This thing.
You send it out to all your friends?
Yes. Hello. Hey, Dana. Hey, Stacy, Tasha, Shane, Diva. Y'all come on in. Let's do this.
It's delayed on my phone.
Shay, Phil, Janet, Shay.
86, 84.
Gonna wait for a second. Let everybody get in.
Comments.
Hey, Shannon. Double D. Hey, Vance. L.A. Adcox. Hello.
You look great. It's delayed on my phone. Go ahead.
Gonna let everybody get in. Hey, Keith. Got my sister-in-law, Ashley, as my wingman. Calming me down after a crazy, crazy week. I'm letting everybody get in.
31.
And once it calms down a little bit, we'll do this. Hey, Josh. Hey, Tammy. Alex. Stevie. All right, gonna give it a few more. Can y'all hear me? I guess so.
I can hear you.
Wow. I don't know. We have to go outside. Okay.
It's only 142 right now. You may want to wait just a few more minutes.
All right. I'm just gonna jump in here and get after it. First, I want to thank the good Lord. And what truly was a life-changing experience that was hard to let go of. He was there, and he was there through your post and your text and your phone calls, and just an overwhelming wall of love, and you genuinely mourned with us, and that will mean more than you'll ever know. But God definitely had his hand in this, and put some of you, I mean, there's so many ways that he let me know that this was the right thing for me. And a lot of you don't even realize that at a certain time you may have sent a text. It was related to something that I was praying about and seeking God's wisdom on. So there's just no question that he is in this. But that being said, I want to say this is not about 95.3 The Bear. This is about me not being defined by 95.3 The Bear. The first time that I went through something like this was with Diddy Hamrick, my original and first co-host before he retired. And for whatever reason, the radio industry thinks that the best course of action is to just make a clean cut and move on to whatever new show or program that they've got planned. And that may have worked in the older days of radio, but when you have 7 years with a community that has gone through a tornado, that bond deserves a better ending than the one I think it got. So I want to kind of clear up some speculation, fill in some gaps for you, and you can make whatever determination you want to make in terms of why Madison and Shepherd is no more.
Great.
But some of the things that I saw, I wanted to address. Let's start with Tuesday morning at 10:10. Scott Shepherd and myself were called down, I guess this was 2 days after returning from vacation. We were called down into a meeting with the boss, who said that there were 4 down books and they were going to take the station in a different direction. I was very appreciative of the manner in which, he told us, but there was certainly a moment of shock there that, upon reflection, you kind of think about things a little different. The decision was made that we would not say anything about it on air, and that on Monday, this past Monday, a week ago, they would begin running promos announcing the new show. So that was what my understanding was when we walked out of the office that Tuesday. So we sat on knowing that the show would be ending at the end of the week. 3 Wednesday's show and Thursday's show, and then Friday morning about 5 o'clock I received my first text. You know who you are. And he said, "Hey, I'm not liking what I'm reading on Facebook, sis. Is it true?" So come to find out, the host of the new morning show had announced on Facebook that he would be moving to 95.3 The Bear, thus the cat was out of the bag. And I'll be honest, I thought it was very unprofessional. I thought it was very... I didn't think that I was, or Scott for that matter, that it could have been handled better. But it was handled the way it was. And then Russell Estes shows up with breakfast. And he obviously had gotten wind, and I could see the shock come on his face, and just in a flash, I realized what we were losing. We were losing so much, and the fundraisers that we had, made a success together, and your birthdays and your anniversaries, and it was a genuine cut, and it hurt, and I was pretty disgusted that that by lunchtime, they were running promos for the new show, and like you wouldn't care. Like the 7 years that we had been through, really, that that it didn't matter. So I took offense to that on both of our behalf, and I would give them the courtesy of a week to answer some of the speculation, being, were you fired because of your Hillary post? I don't know. They didn't say that. Were you fired because of your Donald Trump support? I don't know. They didn't say that. Were you fired because someone called you a racist? I don't know. They didn't say that. In fact, they didn't say anything about that either way. So I don't know what their position on that is. But that is not the ending that I was going to let be written for me. In terms of what's next, you know what? I do not know. I knew that from the moment I walked out of that office, I would not have a repeat of what happened when Dee Dee and I were first cut from radio, in that there were 2 years of questions. We would run into people, and they would say, "Whatever happened?" And I thought that the listeners in the audience deserved to have an answer to that. I do appreciate Town Square. I wish that, it would have been handled differently, but there again, we are where we are. And I'm in a unique position in that I am bound by no corporate handcuffs. I am going to take some time to kind of reconnect and develop a new normal after 7 years. It's going to take some adjustment. I did see Scott today. He looks good. He's got a very successful franchise, 9 Round. You should check it out. And the Lord has been good to both of us. We will definitely miss the connection that radio provides, but it was a good death in that it was time. There were things that I wanted to say that I wouldn't say out of respect for my employer. And I'm no longer bound by that same, I don't have to consider that now. I can say things that I feel are on my heart that need to be said when We are living in a days of chaos and confusion, and I want to be a light for the Lord, and I'm going to let Him direct my future steps. So hopefully that will answer the question in terms of what's next. I don't know. I do not know. I knew that I would be here with you tonight in the event that those questions about why we were terminated were answered. I would answer those because I will not allow the speculation is in terms of I don't think personally that it had to do with the fact that I was bashing Hillary, supporting Trump, or that some coward who doesn't know what he's talking about wanted to call me a racist. That doesn't bother me, and I really don't think it bothered Town Square. But again, they really didn't offer an opinion on it either way. But this is where I'll be, right here on Facebook. And again, thank you, all of you who've reached out and called, and hopefully I'll be able to tell some of those stories a little later on. But I want to officially kind of put 95.3 The Bear in my past, one filled with lots of memories of you and the different things that we've done together in the community. I love you. I appreciate you. And hopefully we will reconnect again soon. Bye.